When he appears first on television, he will not be called Maitreya. And people have to recognize Maitreya himself. If you phoned me up and said, I saw somebody on American television, is that Maitreya? I would not be allowed to tell you. I would not say, yes, it was, or no, it wasn't. You, from your own spiritual insight, your own intuition, have to recognize him. I can tell you what he is about, what his concerns are, how he will appear, how he will speak, how he will, what he will address, what are the problems that he will address. But I'm not allowed to say, that's that man, that's the man you keep in mind, because that's Maitreya. You understand what I'm saying? So people then have the task, the media will have the same task. If a media, well, Mr. Creme, I hear that Maitreya's in the world gave a talk, appeared on such and such. Well, I think it might be him. Can you confirm that that was a... I wouldn't be allowed to confirm it. You see, I'd say, well, you know, to myself, I might say, oh, well, he's got it, you know, if he's right. Or, no, he's wrong. It's not him at all. People have before now phoned me up and said, I heard a man speaking on television and he was talking about this and that. Was that Maitreya, you know? And I have to say, well, what do you think? He said, well, I don't know. I mean, it might have been. So I'm not allowed to confirm or deny. You know? People have to use their own full free will. It will become obvious. I think I've spread enough in the world, especially in America, of the idea of what Maitreya is about, the nature of his thought and his ideas, his concerns and so on, his priorities and so on, for people not to miss it. But, you know, I can't guarantee that they won't. But on the day of declaration, they will absolutely not miss it. On the day of declaration, which will be arranged, of course, a certain day, when enough people are responding and demanding that we let this man speak to the whole world. He's already well known, been on media all over the world, and people are clamoring to hear him speak to the world as a whole, thinking he's the Imam Mahdi or Krishna or Maitreya Buddha or the Christ or whatever, the Messiah. Whatever they think, all these names apply to him, but he doesn't like them. He says, if I'm the Christ to Christians, well, what about the Jews? What about the Hindus? What about the Muslims? If I'm Krishna to the Hindus, well, what about the others? Where do they come in? If I'm Maitreya Buddha, which of course he is, they're the only one who have got his name right. If I'm Maitreya Buddha, well, what about the Christians? What about the Hindus? What about the Buddhists, the Jews and so on? So he wants only to be called the teacher. And he would respond to the teacher. I dare say if you called him the Christ or Maitreya Buddha, he would respond to that too, but he says that's confusing. They're man-made terms and they bring about confusion. He comes as a teacher to teach us how to live together in peace and to develop ourselves in accordance to the potential, the spiritual potential which exists in every single person. That's what he's here for, to become like the masters, divine, perfected, evolved to a point where we don't need to incarnate on this planet anymore. That is what being a master is. A master has complete control on all planes and has nothing more to learn on this planet. And so his presence on the planet is his choice, simply that. He is not here because of karmic choice. It's simply his own choice of serving on this world. And not all the masters do. Some go on to other planets or even out of the solar system. On the day of declaration, to get back to that, he will, I don't know how long it will take, maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something, 40 minutes, something like that. He will not speak, not say a word, but his thoughts, his ideas will be heard inwardly, telepathically, by everybody in the world, everybody above the age of 14. So if you're 14, you're Slovenian, you'll hear him in Slovenian. If you're Russian, you'll hear him in Russian. Americans in American, English in English, French in French, Dutch in Dutch, and so on. He will come into telepathic rapport with every adult in the world, and each of us will hear him inwardly, telepathically, in our own language. So you will hear him as if he's speaking directly to you, which in a sense he is. He thinks what he's wanting to say, and our brains will simply translate that into Slovenian, French, Dutch, German, Spanish, whatever. He will give a kind of account of the long history of humanity, show how old we are, from what a height, a spiritual height, we have descended into this materiality of today, endangering the very future of the species, and at the same time showing the future, what it can be like if we just accept that we're brothers and sisters of one humanity. We can create a civilization based on that, which will take us, as he puts it, to the very stars. And the masters will give to humanity their insight, their wisdom, their age-old wisdom and experience and knowledge, and stimulate and galvanize humanity into creating the most brilliant civilization. While this is going on, his energy, which we call the Christ principle, the energy of love, will flow out in tremendous potency throughout the world. He has said it will be as if I embrace the world. People will feel it even physically. And at the same time, and this will create an inner certainty that this is the Christ, an intuitive understanding of the message, a heartfelt response to the message. And on the physical plane, there will be hundreds of thousands of spontaneous miracle cures, healings all over the planet. And in these three ways, you will know that that one is the Christ, the world teacher, the Imam Mahdi, the Messiah, Maitreya Buddha, Krishna. By whatever name you await him, you will know that that one has come and beginning his outer mission in the world.